Alright folks, the deck is Undead Shadow Priest. The goal of the deck is to play a bunch of undead minions, including the recently buffed Haunting Nightmare, so that we can bring it back with High Cultist Basaleph and create a wide board of minions attacking our opponent in the face, while also making use of things like Undying Allies and Grave Digging so that we can draw through our deck and continue applying pressure. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can catch me live at twitch.tv/Roffle or here on YouTube. I think I missed some super chats in there. And almost choked on my own saliva. There's still a haha duty spam. Thank you all. Industrials, thank you for the super chat. And Constance, thank you as well. Haha duty. All right. You're welcome, Roffle. Yeah, thank you, Rick. Sorry.
Tyrande versus Tyrande.
All right, clearly it's the mirror match because we're both Tyrande.
Give me strength. Your path has brought you here.
Curve this into this. Oh, I need to change the thumbnail for the current deck. Oh my god, we have some damage. Simon, thank you for the super chat. Bring out your dead, chat.
Bring out your dead.
Choke on saliva, more like Sage taken out by sniper.
Thank you, Constance. When I was dumb, I used to, like a decade ago, I used to pronounce it Tyrande. I mean, okay, to be fair, I think you're being too hard on yourself. Like, fantasy names in general are pretty hard, and when you often read them, like you would in, you know, Warcraft 3 or whatever, you can't possibly know any better. Yeah, let's get our minion damage while we can, because we've got a nice curve. I'm new. How do I be a productive member of chat? Just keep it up. You're doing a great job already. Welcome, Demon Spawn. Warcraft 3 had voice acting? I don't know. I never played. Either way, the point still holds. Could have been just World of Warcraft, right?
Job's done.
Seems good. Fantasy names are hard. Blizzard fantasy names: Hellscream, Stormrage, Bloodhoof. I mean, okay. But they... Will I? I don't seem to.
Productive, lies and slander.
No, you can be. In fact, super chatting is quite productive for me. So thank you, Constance. Probably an impossible question, but how many wild decks, the skeletons, can an average Hearthstone player make legend with? Less than 10, more than 100?
Can't believe I get paid to make this joke again on stream. Thank you for the content since I've started watching 2 years ago. Keep it up, D.
There we go. You ended on a high note, and I appreciate that. Thank you for the support, Pat.
Has brought you here.
To answer the question, I think there's a misconception about like the average Hearthstone player. I don't think the average Hearthstone player can necessarily get to legend or even has that as their goal. I think that like only a very small percentage of people even get to like diamond ranks. I mean, this is a bad keep, but I'm going to keep it because I want to see it played. But there are a wide variety of decks that are certainly capable of hitting legend by, you know, an above average player. Yeah, welcome, Hayward. What do you think about Enrage Warrior? Probably the best Warrior has available to it right now. It's probably better than its play rate suggests, but like definitely not a top tier deck necessarily. Isn't Legend like top 0.3% average player will never see Legend? Yeah, but there's some changes to the ladder since the stats were released, and like not every player that hits Legend every month.
I have to work now to afford more super chats to eventually afford the free super chat money. By Roffle.
See you later, Custom. Have a great day at work, and
constantly donating makes me content.
Yeah, it also makes me content. Or I guess he meant content. I meant content. But thank you, Oliver, for the super chat. Which deck archetype do you prefer? Aggro, control, or combo? I don't have a preference. I like a variety of, or I like variety in what I play. And being restricted to just one archetype or one deck makes it hard for me to enjoy the game. There's probably a fair amount of people that can hit Legend, but just don't have or want to put the time in to hit Legend. That's also very true, yes. I would definitely agree with that. Like, there is a pretty hefty time investment associated with, like, making a Legend climb, if it's not your job. What are some good not aggro decks at the moment? In Wild? Most of the top decks right now in Wild are aggro. I haven't had a chance to take a look at Demon's Bomb, but I'll when I get a chance, I'll give it a look.
Tyrande versus Lady Vash.
10,000 years, and still you annoy me.
That gets me every time.
Your path has brought you here.
Alright, we're just always keeping the High Cultist until we actually get to play it. Constance, thank you for the super chat.
What are some of the cards like Renounced Darkness?
Like Renounced Darkness? I'm not sure I understand the question.
I see you've brought guests.
There aren't many cards like Renounced Darkness other than the Wormrest Purifier.
Job's done.
Yvonne, thank you for the super chat.
I'm switching to Lurk. Thank you for all the content.
Hey,
I
thank you.
remember getting first time legend the same day you posted a Tunnel Troke video a while back.
Hey, congrats. And thank you for the support, Industrials. Appreciate that.
What would you think about a wild queue with only Roffle approved fun decks and no meta decks? Kek.
I feel like that would put too much power in my hands. But I don't know. Maybe there's something to that, Eric. Creating content in such a way.
Come, pray with me.
Probably don't need to do that here. Fires of Zenishari and Supreme Arcanologist. Yeah, there's also the 1-mana Warlock spell that changes your hand into demons. That one's pretty fun. Roffle tournament win. I think that's unlikely to happen. That would, like, as somebody who has put on tournaments before or been involved and helped in putting on tournaments, it is a lot of work and very, very tiresome. Kind of want to find an Undying Allies here. I guess I'm bad at the video game. Well, there's still a chance. They hit ice fishing, so we don't necessarily know they have a devolve.
Bring out your dead.
It's kind of hard to kill already. Well, we're gonna get our wish with the High Cultist here, I think.
Talks on making a Murloc Shaman deck. I love Underbelly Angler.
Yeah, there's maybe some incentive to do so with the inclusion of Rotgill. It's just you know, not the most exciting deck otherwise.
Bring out your dead.
Death will not be a mercy for you.
Sure hope they don't. Well, they do have another Murloc. That was a silly goose play. I should have just wait. Okay. You're welcome, Bahi. Super, hello. Now we put on that.
Run as fast as you can.
I wanted to use my free super chat to let you know that your decks also helped me get to legend as well. Thanks for the content.
Hey, happy to hear that, Pony. Glad you're enjoying the content, and congrats on Legend. Yeah, there's just unfortunately no way to like counteract that flurgle.
Run as fast as you can.
I'm 7 moves ahead of you. It is finished. You win.
Roffle, can you hold my place in chat? I'm going to make chicken burgers. I'm a little bit busy, but I'm sure someone else in chat will have you covered.
Death is nature's way.
Your path
Oh my god, this
has brought
opener.
you here.
And then we just always keep the high cultist, right?
You're giving free legends now?
I mean, I've been giving MMR away like candy all week, or these past 2 weeks, so yeah, but in a sense, I have been. Thank you, Constance. Alright, thank you, Fakest VTuber, holding Platman's spot in chat.
Bring out your dead.
This just kind of dies to the hero power, so played on 2 going into their turn 3, which makes it you know, less likely to be a turn that they want to hero power. Opponent seems frozen in time. Legit question, do you keep this rank with the fun decks or do you also play meta decks? Combination of the two. I tanked really, really hard last week and the week before. So now we're kind of in the process of somewhat recovering our MMR.
Run as fast as you can.
God, this guy's getting chunky. I heard Undertaker was a broken card. Was it before the nerfs? Yes, and it was when it was first released. It was probably the strongest one drop in the history of Hearthstone. And there have been a lot of strong one drops in Hearthstone. But just because, like, when Nax came out, there's a lot of relatively high-powered Death Rattle minions that came alongside it. And you would frequently have turns like this. And I was finally going to get to play the High Cultist. Better than patches? I don't know. That's actually a good... Like, they're so very different. I wouldn't call patches a one-drop, right? So I don't think that they're necessarily directly comparable. Patches might be the stronger one-mana minion, but Undertaker was, like, the stronger one-drop.
Tyrande versus Lunara.
Beware the turning tides.
Your path has brought you here.
Are the stats different, or what was the nerf? I believe it used to just, like, when it got nerfed, I think it only started giving attack, and the health is what you wanted because, like, there's a lot of board-based, like, minion bumping going on at the time, so just turning a one-drop into an ogre was pretty powerful.
Bring out your dead.
I don't want to give the Banshee the Reborn and give myself a chance to maybe hit another. Got a pretty strong turn next turn, and Druid tends to be relatively weak to aggro.
Oh, good.
Job done.
Free of that blasted tower. Behold.
Alright, gonna take a coward's line here. I don't want to get blown out by Oaken Summons, which they are almost certainly running.
Just a scratch.
That was quite the undertaking. Does the buff to Wither tempt you to try Undead Druid, or is that card still bad? That card still seems like it would be pretty bad. Just like so many requirements for what it does. You think the chat is a reflection of the streamer? In some ways, yeah.
Tyrande versus Valeera.
Shall we dance? Your path has brought you here. An error.
Too much power.
An error.
Well, we'll see. I didn't want to get the Banshee's coin hero powered.
That's all for now.
Constance, thank you for the super chat.
Can you pick up both of your dogs at one time?
I mean, probably.
Tyrande versus
Like the Husky's kind of big, so that I don't, and he doesn't like to be picked up, so I don't pick him up. But yeah, I think I'm probably capable of it.
Path has brought you here.
I mean, he's like what, 70 pounds? He wouldn't find it comfortable, so I wouldn't do it.
I cannot do that.
Hey, no worries, JY. If you happen to queue him to me, you don't have to concede. You can just mute the stream and like close the tab for a moment, and we can play it out. You don't need to concede to me. I want to get both of these down so that the Felwings come into play. Unless opponent cheats and rolls a taunt on him. What now? I didn't even want to totem there. Watching too many Roffle videos. George Washington, thank you for the super chat.
Hey Roffle, I just wanted to say in behalf of the rest of the YouTube chat that you are in fact very handsome.
Appreciated?
Roffle, you should leave the stream, too.
Should I? I mean, every time I do that, I seem to lose a lot of viewers. So I don't know if that's necessarily the best thing for me. So I had that catheter installed. Thank you, Constance. George Washington spitting facts? Yeah. I mean, you know it's true because the man literally invented democracy. Very good at not encouraging parasocial relationships. Is that a conscious choice or just a very natural result of you being a very private person? Combination of the two, I think. Like, I'm aware of it as a bit of a risk, so I try to avoid doing things that would,
Your path
like
has brought
it's
you
already, it's an inherent risk involved in streaming, so I try to do what I can to, like, avoid making it a prominent part of my stream. And then on top of that, I think, like, for my own health and, like, mental health and safety, it's important for me to keep my private life or my personal life private. Go here so that it has something to potentially buff.
You are not the boss of me.
Okay, so it's probably not the combo-y version. Or is it? Wow, that could have helped me a lot. Unlucky. That's a very good card to just discard off rip. Seems unwise. You think the 1-mana draw top minion and double its stats would be even played without the Mana Thirst? Yeah, probably. I mean, there's some combo things you can do at it. USA is a constitutional federal republic, not a democracy.
It's still good.
Yes, I was making a joke. I took civics classes. I understand the difference. If the fact that I said that George Washington invented democracy didn't tip you off to it, the fact that that was a joke, I don't know how much clearer it could have been.
wonder.
Did you expect chat to get a joke? I mean, yeah. When I said something so blatantly stupid, I would assume that people would know that I'm joking. That's a good burn for me. I needed that to be gone. Constance, thank you for the super chat.
Roffle makes jokes.
I mean, not very good ones, admittedly, but still what I would consider very obvious ones. I don't want to give them the attendant here because then I could just die. Roffle invented jokes. Yeah, exactly. Everyone knows that. Oh no. Hey, welcome, Tomas. Boy, that really wrecked my board, didn't it? To be fair, you have to have a high IQ to understand haha duty jokes. I mean, yeah, that's literally what I've been saying all stream, and nobody wants to believe me.
Run as fast as you can.
Starting another weekend with live Roffle. Thanks for the free money and good times again.
Oh, we had gotten past that, I thought. Thank you, Matt, for the super chat.
Got a tune with your
Thank you for the free money. You still dabble as a programmer? No, I haven't really. Not lately. A few months back, I was doing some practice, but it's hard to find time to like stay up to date on or stay practiced on that type of thing. I actually had an idea for a video that would involve some programming work, but I think I saw Raren do it earlier today. Coincidentally. So I don't want to just like yank his content. What languages did you primarily use in programming? Mostly Python. But
Let the hunt begin.
Your path has brought you here.
alright, I just want to get a lot of the haunting nightmares.
I cannot do that.
Golly, thank you for the super chat.
Free money isn't free, we pay for the free service.
I see you brought guests.
Constance, you never cease to break my brain.
Roffle always thanks us for the free money, but he is currently working. Why does Roffle not value the sweat from the brow of the working man?
Wait, what? I'm in your example, I'm the working man. What?
Run as fast as you can.
And I do value. Well, it's winter time, so there's no sweat here. You're welcome, Necron. But it's probably an explosive trap. Weird that they wouldn't just bump there. Maybe it's can't be freezing, right? What? Why wasn't that explosive? I played into explosive, nothing else. You've paid with your back, your brain, and your very sanity. Is it truly free without cost? I guess that's a fair question.
Praise the Twilight.
Okay, this will get me that guy. don't really want to be in a big hurry to play the Voidtouched when... What is that secret? Oh, right. Right as I pressed it. I don't want to give them the damage with the Voidtouch, so I want to use it more like a Savage Roar. I'm glad you're liking the content, Nikron. Fortunately, none of those were undead, so this is not playable. Do I just have to commit the... Oh, let's do this. See if we can hit the Undying Allies. Nice. This is a lot of damage. Cool. Would you run new Vast Wisdom and Parrot Mage? I don't actually know. I'm not super up to date on how to effectively build Quest Mage these days. Probably have to attack first to check for explosive, which it very likely is, and then just try and set up a lethal for next turn. So. Why is it never explosive when I test for it? Snipe. How much? This is 7. $11. I can use it next turn for burst. Let's draw some more minions.
Run as fast as you can.
Why is it always Dart Trap?
Job's done.
Ah! Okay, really glad I didn't play this out earlier, because I could have died. And now we have lethal set up. You're welcome, Baron.
You'll need to run faster than that.
Oh. Despite it never being explosive trap when we were checking, we still got there. You're welcome, Sleepy. I'm doing alright. How about yourself?
Taranda versus Nemzi.
Let's have some fun!
Your path has brought you here.
Okay, maybe it's not disco at least. Ooh, hello.
Bring out your dead.
It's been a while since we had an early Undertaker. Buff him. How's the Undying Allies feeling? It's maybe one of the worst cards in the deck, it feels like. Like, it's probably only remotely good because of the addition of grave digging, which kind of like offsets the 0 mana aspect of it. Does that make sense?
As fast as you can.
It makes sense in my head, so it probably doesn't.
I ain't talking.
Benny? Oh!
Only power.
Probably just give up on the Undertaker here. It's a Defile starter.
Drown in shadow. Come, pray with me.
Icky, not me.
They have a Defile no matter what. So it's not overcommit. Zachariah, thank you for the super chat.
Hey Roffle,
Hi.
from your recent videos it appears chat has an issue with how super chat works. I pay you and I get to write it off on my taxes as charity.
So close, so close. You pay me, and you do get to write. But I am not a charity. But you pay me, and you get to write a message in chat. So you were so close. Yeah, this is where Undying Allies feels kind of bad, doesn't it? Especially when I misplay horrendously like that.
What was that?
I ain't talking.
Is Copper Hunter a fun deck? I think so, but fun is relative, and it seems like other people don't necessarily agree because nobody ever seems to play it.
I've consumed years of great content from you, the least I can do is pay for some gas, a few drinks. Keep up the good work.
Hey, appreciate the kind words and the support, Baron. Glad you're liking the content. Constance, thank you
Is
for
this not a donation?
It is, but not a charitable one. Thank you, Constance. If I'm short 2 damage... That's embarrassing. That was the Defias difference.
Impressive. You win this time.
Funyuns are fun decks, why not both? I'm not here to judge your snacking choices. Naga, thank you for the super chat. She used to be a night elf, you know.
Sorry Roffle, I paused the video forgetting it's live. I hope the momentary time stop wasn't too jarring.
You know, I hardly even noticed it, but I appreciate your concern.
We have turned our
I
first
hate even
into
shaman.
our
Alright,
strength.
let's do our best. Undertaker would help. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with these chickens, but I have them. Hey, congrats, Will and Jake. How many decks do you play per stream? Generally 2, sometimes 1, sometimes 3. Welcome back, Splatman. Welcome, David. Samuel, thank you for the super chat.
Hey Roffle, I was low on cash, so I thought I'd stop by and grab a super chat. Thanks for the donation.
No, if you're low on cash, you should not be stopping by to super chat. Because that's giving me money. Thank you, Samuel. Undying? Oh, it finally would have been, well, I guess it wouldn't have been good here. Because I still have that stupid frostbite thing. Also 1, is this going to override the frostbite? Probably not, right? Is there a reason why Rally didn't make it, but Gravedigging did? Yes, Rally would break the deck with the Benedictus. Didn't even hit any undead minions. Oh, it is? Oh, nice.
Echoes in the darkness. Echoes in the darkness.
Constance, thank you for the super chat.
Hey Roffle,
Hi.
have you found your grave yet?
No, I found a lot of graves that ain't mine, though. Deck feels like it lacks tempo. That's in part because it's not really a tempo-based deck. This is 3-11. 6, 9. Nice. Not quite there, though. Second Voidtouched will get me there. Hey, see you later, Naga. Thanks for hanging out. That'll also get me there. Oof, tough matchup too.
Tyrande versus Dawngrasp.
Ready to get scorched? Your path has brought you here.
Doesn't feel like a. We'll keep it. just kind of important that I have a turn 1 play to deny the rigged fair game.
I see you've brought guests. I'm with the cabal.
Congrats.
Not me!
An incredible discovery!
Come, pray with me.
You can use that as a counterspell test. This looks like a flame ward setup to me.
Praise the Twilight.
Yeah, I can freely play this because it's not counter. Secret Mage again? I think this is the first Secret Mage I've queued into all day, and I've been streaming for almost 3 hours. Constance, thank you for the super chat.
Man, if only we could steal all these juicy secrets.
If only. Fortunately, unfortunately, rather, there's no card that allows us to do that, so. Objection and explosive. It's a very good explosive target.
Come, pray with me.
Seem to be in a pretty good spot. The opponent agrees. I think identifying that Flame Ward turn was pretty important for the outcome there. Christian, thank you for the super chat.
Roffle, can you play Silence Priest after?
This is going to be the last deck of the day, but I'll consider it for the future. Maybe see if it gets some support in the mini set.
Versus Khadgar. Behold the magic of death.
Your path has brought you here.
Probably just always keep the Felwing and look for early game to activate it.
I see you've brought guests.
Another Renethal Mage? Oh. It's probably not great for me. But, I don't know. As long as we either get underneath the ice block or... Probably better just to do this here.
Pray with me.
Welcome, Shadow One.
as you can.
Constance, thank you for the super chat.
Do you think they'll ever print Discover a Hero?
I would guess probably not. That seems like it has some pretty serious risks.
Praise the Twilight.
As much fun as I could see it also being, it does seem dangerous. So I would be surprised. Unless it's like discover a hero in your deck, or it's a super late game card. Who knows?
Run as fast as you can.
But thank you for the super chat, Constance.
Too much. Something follows.
Okay. We haven't. Well, I don't know how I feel about this. We haven't seen a secret yet, at least. Oof.
I will crush your
Sweet.
grandeur. Too much. Power.
Job's done.
All right. Buff on the to 4/3 on Haunting Nightmare actually feels kind of substantial in practice. Yeah, just because like it, like the recurring aspect of it on the Haunted Soldier as well. So it's kind of like a double. Oof. Double buff. Gonna come down to the wire here. Ooh, okay, that seems dangerous. Whoo! Alright. Opponent officially very based.
Oh, goody.
I feel itchy.
Well, they can't kill the Leper Gnome. So they might run into issues if they have Grand Magister. Or even Solarium. You're welcome, Oaklander. I feel like they're coming to that realization now, potentially. Constance, thank you for the super chat.
Fun fact, $2 super chats can only have 50 carry.
Don't think too hard.
Is that true?
Hurt yourself.
Oh my god. They do have the Romnath. Kill the Leper Gnome. Kill it. Thank you for the support, Constance. Kill it. Oh. Eh? Oh, come on. There are other targets here. Jeez. Hit it? Hit it? No, they're pointing things, right? So they didn't die, did they? Oh my god, super lunacy. Oh my god. I hope the opponent wins. So I'm not sure they want to keep playing the... Well, I guess they're not necessarily bouncing the ROM now. Oh no, they can still play the Yogg. They can still play it. Yeah. Here it comes. Oh, that's more dangerous. That feels like it kills them a lot. Oh, man. Do I even have any outs here? Did they set up lethal? But not in the fun way? I mean, to be clear, they do deserve the lethal.
The opponent seems to be a Giga Chad.
Couldn't agree more. Thank you, Axials, for the super chat. Alright. Unfortunately, I think they're just gonna donk us on the head. Okay. I mean, you gotta respect the deck of lunacy lethal. At least they did something fun at the end. I can't believe they dodged the flame or the first flames though.
I bring the fury of the elements.
Your path has brought you here.
Is there a fun secret mage that you can play besides the normal ones? I mean, probably not, right? Because like a lot of the secret mage cards are just like aggression and frustration, right? So like you could add a lot of like bad cards to secret mage, but then you would just be playing secret mage carrying a bunch of bad cards, you know? Like you could say Glacial Mysteries, but then you're literally just playing 28 cards that are good and then 2 cards that you pray you never draw and then never play even if you do draw them. So what about Reno Secret Mage? I mean, that's about as close as you can get, but even that is just like, again, a slightly weaker version of a good deck.
Bring out your dead.
Seems like a pretty good opener, unless I get devolved. But if I get devolved now, at least it's out of the way early. Cheap. Constance, thank you for the super chat.
Another fun fact, $5 super chats bumped that number up to 150, which gives you more than enough characters in a majority of me.
In a majority of you, that is enough characters. Thank you, Constance. Is that actually accurate information? I legitimately do not know how much, or how super chats work for the most part. So is there a character limit depending on how much money you put in? That seems silly. Does kind of stink when archetypes become too refined that you're either playing the deck or just some weird amalgamation. Yeah, I mean, that just is something that kind of happens over the course of a card game's lifespan, isn't it? Or at least has a tendency to. A little bit short here.
Come, pray with me.
See if we can hit the other Mind Blast.
Pray with me.
Donate to yourself and see? I could also just Google it, right? Google seems like it would have the answer being the parent company of of YouTube and all. What is this? Oh, fantastic card. I can't believe this doesn't see more play.
For no one but me.
What is this card? Oh, also never seen that one. Golly, thank you for the super chat.
It's true. Much like the Supreme Court, YouTube has determined that the amount you can say is determined by how much you have paid. $10 is 200 characters.
Okay, interesting. Now, to be clear, the United States is a federal republic, a federal constitutional republic. Everyone knows that, so everything you just said is completely moot. First time I've seen a Death Knight in a while. See you later, Orc.
Will serve me in death.
Your path has brought you here.
Constance, thank you for the super chat.
I am not doing the joke for 10 with 200 characters.
I see you.
That's fair. That's fair. I didn't expect you to. Because again, I'm still not sure that that's how it works, but I appreciate the support nonetheless.
Bring out your dead.
Job done.
It ain't much, but it's honest work.
Oh, goody. Come, pray with me.
I grant you permission to
Be at
speak.
peace.
They need our care. Now
Okay.
more than ever.
So I've lived through this before. And I know what I need to do here. It's not going to feel good. But I think I have to. Because I've been farmed by that card one too many times already. The card's really lost its stats since the WWE days. Yeah, I don't even feel like it could potentially throw Mankind off of the... God, I forgot the thing. I don't think it could even throw Mankind off the top of a steel cage into this pummeling
Also,
8 feet into an announcer's table or
$500 gives
whatever.
you 350, which is a joke in itself.
That is kind of silly. Again, to reiterate, that's why you shouldn't give me the 500 one ever, but thank you, Constance, for the super chat.
Praise the Twilight.
Hey, welcome, Sean. And see you later. Thanks for stopping by.
Most intriguing.
My god, he's broken him in half. I know. Unreal. Well, unfortunately, the Undertaker this time took the brunt of it. Mick Foley is very old by now? I mean, yeah, but so is the Undertaker.
Me have bad for you.
And it's not like when you get older, you get lighter. I think we're dying. Unless this can get us there. Roughly, have you spent any money on Hearthstone at all? Yeah. I spent money in closed beta, and I got my golden Mechaneer Thermoplug or whatever it was. Then I stopped spending money because I saw how easy it was to spend money on the game. Then I started creating content. Eventually down the line, some very generous viewers gifted me some bundles. And then now Blizzard gives me bundles, and then as well as viewers. And I only pay for the rewards track now. But I also have a massive surplus of both gold and
Echoes in the darkness.
I'm a little bit short, aren't I? Then again, so is the opponent here. I thought this was gonna work. Why didn't this get rezzed? That was dumb. They're one off currently, so let's keep it that way. Welcome, Mikhail. I miscounted that slightly, so now I'm in a bad spot. Constance, thank you for the super chat. If they have Grave Strand. Oh, it is Exacties. I forgot about the army, man.
It is finished. You win.
No, surplus of gold and dust, but thank you, Constance, for working towards that surplus of money. Yeah, let's go a few more. I probably need to take my dog for a walk.
Tyrande versus Garona.
I'll leave no trace of this.
Your path
This one seems to not have been
brought you
fixed
here.
with the others. I think it's a little bit risky to play a Voidtouched Attendant into a rogue, but I'm no coward. How many wins in a row is that? I think I lost a few as I went. Yeah, I had a few losses throughout, but we've won a lot of games with this deck. Roffle, which Hearthstone streamer could you beat in a fight? I don't know. I don't really feel like I want to get into a fight with any Hearthstone streamer.
Too much power.
I don't have reason to get into a fight with any Hearthstone streamer. Constance, thank you for the super chat.
Can your dog pick your other dog up?
I mean, possibly. He is significantly bigger, but we try and discourage that type of behavior. I gotta kill that. There's some place where you can see your dog. I think I posted pictures of him on like Twitter and stuff. That might be a good place.
Bring out your dead.
People really want you in a Hearth boxing ring, don't they? Well, I mean, that's a different question than who do you want to get in a fight with, right? But also, probably the same answer. I don't know. I don't think that head injuries are something that I want to work towards. I make him enough misplays as it is. You deduct internet as a business expense. If not, you should look into that if you are a business. I mean, yes. Yes, I do. I have an accountant. I also have been doing this for 5 years. Like, it's just like deducting things as business expenses doesn't magically make the cost disappear like some people seem to think.
Feed the fish, landlubber.
I think we've lost this game. Unfortunately, there's no real way to come back on board. Let's go one more. That wasn't really much of a game.
You win.
If you get more head injuries from boxing, you can almost be as good as Twitch chat. True. True. Then some of these messages might start making more sense. So maybe maybe there's something to that. Why does the U.S. make taxpayers file taxes if they already know exactly how much you owe? Well, in part, thanks to Intuit, who has lobbied really, really, really hard to maintain the status quo because they benefit from it. So we have a super archaic and complicated tax system that was meant to be overhauled, but was lobbied against by companies that profit from it. Greenlock, thank you for the tier 1. And Kali, thank you for the super chat.
Chronic traumatic encephalopathy reaches all-time high among Hearthstone streamers after ill-advised boxing tournament. Chat still screams for more blood.
Yeah, that sounds 100% accurate. And the thing is, like, I don't think there are certainly I can almost guarantee you there will never be a like Blizzard sponsored one just because
Just
like
slide on your face like I did in 3rd grade.
that sounds unpleasant.
The daughter of Nelson Mandela sent me an email with a certificate of authenticity, said if I send you this, I will get her small fortune.
See, I think that's an example of what we call the Mandela effect, where you misremember something and or just completely make it up out of thin air. But thank you for the thank you for the super chat. Anyway, back to the Hearth boxing. There will almost certainly never be a Blizzard sanctioned Hearth boxing event, just because I imagine the liability associated with a bunch of people untrained or loosely trained bashing each other in the face is just a nightmare. So their lawyers would never have it, and it would be an extraordinarily expensive event to run for anyone else.
Feed the fish, landlubber.
I see the void.
Run as fast as you can.
Ouch. They really got a lot of benefit from this
Which
Voidtouched.
Hearthstone streamers would you want on your team in an Anchorman-style battle to the death between card games?
Okay, now we're talking. Peggy, thank you for the 5 gifted. Appreciate that. What am I doing here? Oh, right, we're playing Hearthstone.
Something follows.
God, I really am struggling to get this Felwing down.
Run as fast as you can.
Blood and plunder.
Turns out Pirate Rogue is not a great matchup for this deck, so try not to queue into that deck. That's my advice.
Look! You shiny!
what I want.
Jeez.
Job done.
Unlucky.
It is finished. You win.
What happened to Super Chat? Anyway, Kali, thank you for the Super Chat. Pick 2 streamers to defend you, all the rest are coming to kill you? Oh my god. I feel like that's probably a losing battle no matter who we choose. Huh. That does, I don't like those odds. Alright, I do have to get going though. Thank you all for the support today. Thank you for hanging out.